To be in position to mobilize the side of your trunk. I feel this sometimes in my lat. I feel it in the top of my pelvis where like quadratus lumborum, another muscle, stabilizes your back, comes out and attaches over top of your pelvis. It also just works on side bending mobility. So I'm gonna start off kneeling like I am, and I'm just gonna let myself kind of sit to one side into this side sit position. My legs end up kind of stacked on top of each other. Now, if you're really stiff, just you bringing your hand closer into your hip and sitting up really tall is going to pull in this lower area, right? So that might be enough, right? Just getting to here, that might feel like a pull. Now, if I want more of a pull, and if I can't quite reach my arm overhead, if I have something that I can prop up next to me, like even here, I start to feel more of a stretch now that I have my arm up on something. I'm pressing down like I'm lifting up on my rib cage, but my butt is still anchored to the ground. So me being in the side sit is kind of pulling me down from the bottom, and I'm lengthening my torso from the top. And then as you're able to, you'll be able to grab this shin, and you might be able to bring this arm up to your head. And this feels like a really nice stretch for me. So when I get to this position or the hand on the floor, I might try and take some deep breaths into my rib cage, because as I expand my ribs, that stretches a little more. I might try and do some little oscillations where I kind of push into more of a stretch and I ease out of it. And then once I get to where I can grab my opposite shin and get to here, I might use my head to kind of pull me. Same thing, more of a stretch, less of a stretch. So I always like a little bit of activity when I'm in these positions, whether it's breathing, whether it's a small rocking motion, something that lightly pulls. As I get a little bit more stable and I don't need an anchor from here or from my head, I might go into a reach. And then I might even, if I don't need my shin hand, I might even come up to grab my opposite wrist, which gives me even more of a pull. And then it's easy, right? I can just go right back to my knees, and I can just drop to the other side. I can start off with my hand on the ground, trying to work my hand closer in towards my hips, sitting up really tall. If I don't feel too much of anything, I'll progress to this guy. And that, just like before, pulls a little more. This is my tighter side, so this is the side I'll probably have a little bit more trouble. Yep, I can get to here, and it's definitely much tighter. And I really think about not letting myself cave forward, because that'll be less of a stretch. So for me, I try and sit up as tall as I can. And like I said, I kind of guide this from my head. And then typically if I do a little alternating side to side, I'm able to come up here and grab my fingers or grab my wrist. A nice position to mobilize the side of your waist, side of your trunk.